So I know prices have gone crazy in Bozeman and across Western Montana, especially. So I thought I would do this live stream today. So if you're watching live, feel free to interact with us. But I wanted to take some time and show you what's happening with prices and what your money can actually buy you in and around Bozeman. I know that everybody says that prices are through the roof, and to an extent, they're right. But I think a lot of people don't actually have an understanding of what you can get into a house for, what an entry level house is going for. And honestly, it's always fun to look at some of the extravagant high end listings. So we're going to do that too. So thanks for joining us, whether you're live or watching the replay. And I am glad that you're here. So if you're watching us, go ahead and tell us, where are you watching from? Are you here local in Bozeman? Are you in one of the surrounding areas? Do you live in Tennessee? I don't know. So go ahead and leave a comment. Where are you watching from? Love to hear from you. So this video was actually inspired by one of our viewers. So I got this question a while back. Let me pull it up here. This was from CJ Spencer. He said, I'd say median, at least list price, anywhere within an hour of Bozeman is now pushing $1 million. And I think that that is something that a lot of people believe, that you can't get a house unless you're spending $1 million in Bozeman. And while it's true, there are a lot of houses for $1 million, you don't have to spend $1 million, especially within an hour of Bozeman. So we're going to dive into that today. I appreciate you asking that question, CJ. And we're just going to explore what it looks like for entry level all the way up until you hit the Yellowstone Club in Big Sky. So we're going to look at a few listings online, but let me get rid of this question here. And again, if you're watching online, let me know where you're from. And then if you have any questions on any of these houses that we're looking at today, go ahead and leave those in the comments. But I want to show this first one to you here. So this is actually a pretty good, affordable house to get into. I've actually sold a few in this condo association, and it's in River Rock. This is in Belgrade. So this is 8 miles from Bozeman. So, it's about a 15-minute drive is all. It's easily accessible to I-90 to commute into Bozeman if you need to do that. But I just wanted to show you these. So it's listed at $319. It's across the street from a pond. And these are really popular. So there's a whole bunch of them. There's a few available right now, but there's a ground floor unit for $319. You have a walkout, into the park, and pretty nice floor plans. A little bit older, these units, but really well laid out. You have a nice open floor plan to the kitchen and dining room. And then, so this one's not actually a ground floor, my bad. So this one has a balcony that overlooks the pond across the street. And hard to tell with the snow in there, but there is that pond across the street there. Really popular area for kids and for sledding and for adults and everybody. So you do get a one-car detached garage, and this is kind of your entry level. So if you're looking to be right in the Bozeman Belgrade area, this is about as cheap as you can get that's not a super distressed property. So they're nice units, though. It's a nice neighborhood, and for an entry level home, it's hard to go wrong with something like this. So we're going to look at a few in this price point, and these are 2-bed, 1-bath, and they have 3-bedroom in there, I believe, as well. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can kind of get in this area. But built in 2002, so relatively new, and been on the market for 65 days. So that's something to look at if you're looking for that entry-level home. Another one in that same unit, this one's been updated, so it's $360, and you can see super nice home, nice kitchen. This one's updated, has the subway tile backsplash, and this is on the top floor. So it's 3 stories, and this one's all the way up on the top floor. And you get the vaulted ceilings, which I really like when you get into these upper units. So again, if you're looking for something to get into as a starter home, or maybe not a starter home, maybe you're looking to downsize, whatever it may be, I would check these out because these are really nice units. Again, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and you do get the 1-car detached garage too. So definitely check those out. But we oftentimes have people ask us, can I get into something that's reasonable? And the answer is yes. There's that. Of course, if you're looking to get farther away from Bozeman, you can save more money. So if you're willing to go to like Whitehall or Butte, we're not going to go into those markets today, but you can get into stuff under 200,000 when you start hitting the Butte market. So, and if you go the other way too, towards Big Timber, past Livingston, it's the same thing. So, we have this pocket here in Bozeman that it's expensive. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's a very attractive place to live, and attracting people to live here makes prices go up. I actually did another video about that. Make sure to check it out. But really today, we're just going to check out what you can get at different price points. So those two were under 400,000. So you had 319 and then 360. So this next one, we're going to stick in Belgrade. Make sure I get the right one here. And so this is in a new neighborhood over on Butler Creek Avenue. So it's 526, and this is a single family home. So that low 500s is kind of the entry level price point for Bozeman and Belgrade if you're looking to get a single family home and you don't want a townhouse or a condo. But these are super nice units. They're built brand new. So this is built in 2023, 526,000. So I mean, super nice. You have it virtually staged. It's actually tricked me at first when I clicked to the next picture and it all disappeared. It was kind of shocking. They did a really good job on the virtual staging there. So pretty neat how they can do that now. But really modern, open floor plan. You get the dark cabinets and the light countertop, vinyl plank flooring, which is super popular. And for low 500s, this is a really great option. You do have a little bit smaller lots, so you're closer to your neighbor, but that helps keep the price down. If you had a bigger lot, this would easily be up into the 650, 700,000 for this house. But brand new, and there's a whole bunch of these being built in Belgrade. So that's definitely something to check out if you're looking in the low 500,000s. And how many square foot is this? 1688 square feet. So it's a pretty good sized home. If you're not familiar with this is in Belgrade. So if you take Jackrabbit all the way up north, you can find it there. And it's just, kind of to the east of the airport, but off of Jackrabbit up in all that new development up there. So another one over in Belgrade, we're jumping up now into the 700s. So this one's 715,000 over on Deadwood Loop. So to show you where that's at, again, same area, just to the south of that other one that we looked at. But almost 3,000 square feet. So we're up at 715,000. And again, super, super nice house that you're getting into in Belgrade. These were built recently. They're still building out this neighborhood. And just a lot of amenities, nice parks in the area, easily accessible to I-90, and a super popular area that you can get into. So in the 700s, you're starting to get more amenities. So you get the bigger floor plans. Bedrooms are going to be a little bit larger, bigger lot, gas fireplaces, stuff like that. You get the gas range, upgraded kitchen, nice pendant lights, just a few upgraded features that you're not going to see at that $500,000 price point that you can start getting into at the $700,000 price point. So you're going to see a lot bigger windows and just a lot more natural light, higher ceilings, everything that goes along with that. And then you'll notice a bigger yard as well. So this one, 0.16 acres, a little bit bigger than the last one. And this has just been on the market for 9 days. So if this is something that you're looking at in that 700,000 range, it's a really good home to get into in a popular neighborhood. 2-car attached garage, really nice. So in that same area, actually jumping over into Bozeman, I thought I had one more over there, but jumping over into Bozeman, into Westgate, you can get into that 700,000 range as well. There's some cheaper stuff in Bozeman as long as you're, looking at townhouses and condos. But really, this 700 is where you start to switch from Belgrade to Bozeman and get more options in Bozeman at that price point. So a little bit more modern style, built in 2018. We're adding a bedroom, so we're at 4 bedrooms now, still just under 2,000 square feet. And this is a super popular neighborhood. So the Lakes at Valley West, you get smaller lots, but this neighborhood is packed full of awesome stuff. So I'm just going to zoom in on this map here. So you can see the lakes at Valley West is named that because you have these two awesome little ponds or lakes, I guess they call them. But there's a lot of trails around it. You have a park, and it's a really cool neighborhood. You're right off of Durston, super great accessibility to all over town, near the new high school. It's really, really a good area to be in. Really popular. But inside these homes, they're super nice. So you get vaulted ceilings in this one. Nice modern layout. Good kitchen with an island, or at least a counter bar top. And good sized bedrooms in here as well. So these lots are a little bit smaller, 0.09 acres in the lakes. Again, that's to help keep costs down, but really good neighborhood to be in. With a smaller lot, you don't have to mow as much, which is really nice. That's something that I really miss about my first home that I had is I backed up to a park and I just had to mow a little bit, but I felt like I had a whole lot. So kind of appreciate those small lots when you have to take care of them. But if you have any questions on any of these houses, feel free to ask them in the chat. We'll be answering questions today. And our main thing that we're talking about is affordability and how far your dollar goes. But if you have any general real estate questions, feel free to ask those in the chat and we'll get those answered as much as we can today. So it's kind of funny. So a lot of people from all around the country are interested in Bozeman. And I wanted to share a story because a lot of people don't understand how much it costs here, especially if they don't live in the general area. So I actually had a little old lady. I'm just going to call her a little old lady because she's super sweet. I don't remember her name. It was about a year and a half ago. But she called me. She was so excited. She had been reading about Montana and Bozeman, and she decided, I'm moving to Bozeman. I'm so excited. She had never actually been here. So she's seen stuff online. She watched the show Yellowstone, she told me, and she's moving to Bozeman. That's it. So she sold her house in Georgia and then called me and said, I'm moving up there. I just sold my house. I'm like, hey, that's awesome. We'd love to help you relocate here. And we started talking and walking through the process, and I found out what she wanted. Nothing extravagant. She wanted a 3-bedroom house with, at least a little bit of a fenced yard for her dog and, just kind of a run of the mill house. And was super excited. It was like, yeah, we can absolutely help you. Let's get going. What kind of price did you have in mind? And she said, well, I just sold my house down there. I'd like to take that money and pay cash for one up there. I said, that's great. What kind of budget do you have? And she wanted to hit that 200,000 mark. And it was like screeching brakes. I didn't even have anything to show her, unfortunately. So we did get her connected with some agents in a different town, but it can be kind of shocking, if you get that sticker shock of what houses are actually going for in Bozeman. I know it's not cheap, and as somebody that lives here, it's hard for me too. I actually ended up buying a house last year, and it was a tough pill to swallow as we were home shopping, and as time went on, looking for the right house, just watching prices go up and up and up, and it can be frustrating, but I definitely understand that it's not the cheapest place to live, but a large part of that is just everything that Bozeman has to offer in the lifestyle here. So, it all gets kind of factored in to that price. So, one thing that people are doing in order to save a little bit of money is you go a little bit farther out. So, this next house that I want to show you here, let me pull it up. It's over in Three Forks. So, this is about a half an hour to the west of Bozeman. It's easy off of I-90. So I'll pull up the map here so you can kind of get a feel for this. But as you head from Bozeman, past Manhattan, out to I-90, so you have Bozeman here, Belgrade, so Manhattan, and then Three Forks. So Three Forks, there's two main areas. You have your city of Three Forks, and then you have kind of to the north as you hit 287 to go up towards Helena. So that's where this is located, over in this area right off of I-90 and 287. So easily accessible going north and south and east and west. You have the headwaters here. You have, there's 3 rivers that are all coming together right here. And so a ton of fishing, really good outdoor stuff, easily accessible there. But this house is super nice. You got a 3-car garage and we're at $774. So you get a lot more house compared to what was in Belgrade or in Bozeman, but you get a lot bigger lot, which is what's attractive to these. So this is 5 bedrooms, 2,400 square feet, built in 2023, so brand new house. But here's the biggest difference. By going out to Three Forks, we have 3.58 acres. So that is massive lot. So beautiful house though. Nice open floor plan. I really like these floors. You get these. I don't know if I didn't read if these are wooden floors or if they're like a laminate floor. I'm guessing laminate. But either way, they're gorgeous and they look like real wood. So maybe they're real wood, but that circle sawn texture is something that I've always really liked. Let me know if you like those floors. Stone on the fireplace. Nice big kitchen. You got nice countertops open to the living room and dining area, and a lot more styling in this house. Some more customization than what you're seeing at that price point in Bozeman. But the cool part out here is we'll get to these views in just a second. Good sized bedrooms, like the sliding barn door, tiled showers, just upgraded throughout the house. So a lot better finishes than what you're seeing at the same price point in and around Bozeman, especially for the size of the house. You might get the same amenities, same upgrades on a smaller house, but for the money, you're getting a lot more of that out in the Three Forks and Manhattan areas. So we'll get to these views here coming up. You can kind of see them there. But here's the views. So you get these rolling hills out in Three Forks. There's a lot of fields from farms and stuff, and just these rolling hills. And then it kind of washed out here. It looked like it was either cloudy or kind of a bright day, but you get a lot more views of the bridgers at a distance as well. So that's in Three Forks, and again, that one's 774 and been online for just a week, brand new house. And if you're shopping in that 700 range, it might be something to think about, to get a little bit more land and to head out, a half an hour to Three Forks versus, what you can get in Bozeman. A lot less snow out there too. I know there's some snow in this picture here, but once you hit Manhattan, there's a lot less snow out there. So the clouds roll in from the west, they coming to the east, and they hang up on the bridges. So snow will dump in Bozeman, it'll dump in Belgrade, but then as you're driving out to Manhattan and to Three Forks, you'll see it just kind of tapers off, and they get a lot less out there as you get away from where the clouds hang up on the mountains. So jumping back into Belgrade now, this one's 890. So we're getting bigger, and once you get over that 800 price point, you're starting to get the bigger lots in Belgrade, a lot closer to Bozeman. 6 bedrooms, 3,500 square feet. This one's on Roundup Boulevard, built in 2021, and these are really popular houses in a really popular neighborhood. Pretty much everything is popular around here, if I'm honest with you. So I guess I don't need to say that part. It's kind of a given. We live in a popular area. There's not too many areas in and around Bozeman that people don't want to live. But nice and bright, big house, nice kitchen with a pantry, fireplace again, and that open floor plan that's really desirable. And if you're just tuning in, I see we got some more people tuning in. Feel free to leave some comments. What do you think about these houses? Is this something that you're interested in? And should I do more videos like this in the future? Showing you what prices are at. But I like the tile around the fireplace there. And of course, a pantry is very nice to have in your kitchen. But I love these open floor plans that are most houses now that are being built have an open floor plan. Just a lot more popular option. But this again in Belgrade. So this is over in Ryan Glum subdivision. So kind of wraps behind the airport there. You can come in off of Dry Creek or go in off of Airport Road. Either way, you got to get behind it. And really nice park in the neighborhood. Really good sledding hill in the neighborhood right in this park just down the street from you. Some good neighbors here. I've sold a few in here to some really awesome people too. So you'll have good neighbors. But I want to know, so I'm curious, those of you that are watching, So I'm curious, how much did you pay for your first home? So let me know. I know when I bought my first home, it was right after the crash, and we got a really good deal on it. We were under 200, which is pretty awesome. So, timing is everything, but it is what it is. Over time, real estate goes up. We bought right after the biggest dip in prices that we've ever seen with the crash in '08. But I'm curious, what did you pay for your first home? And go ahead and throw the year in there as well. So back into Bozeman now. This is a brand new neighborhood. So we have White Horse Ranch. Let me pull it up here. So on White Horse Loop, brand new neighborhood. So this is over off of Love and Baxter. It's across from the YMCA and the Commons. Butts up to Black Bull Golf Community. And these are really nice houses. So they're built by Sunrise Homes, which is a pretty good builder, and they're doing a good job on these. So again, open floor plans, upgraded, and I really like the exterior of these the best. We'll get back to the exterior. I like how they do the siding on them, more of that natural wood look, and just really nice houses overall. Location is hard to beat. This one, a big difference between this house and the other ones in Bozeman that we're looking at is that you're in the county. So this is outside of city limits. You're on Four Corners water sewer, and it's just a really great area. And this is kind of in the heart of where Bozeman's growing to. So Bozeman is expanding uh, to the west, and there's going to be a lot more development coming out here. So there's going to be a lot more amenities. You can kind of get in before it all takes off. So as it grows into the Four Corners and towards Jackrabbit and towards Belgrade, you can really get into all that. But I like that outside of these, you have the batten board and the natural look. The covered patio is really nice. They have several good floor plans in here in White Horse Ranch. So we're going to do a video on this subdivision coming up in the spring, since they've put a lot of houses in over the last few months. But these are brand new, built in 2023. This is one of the newest neighborhoods in Bozeman, and you're over 3,000 square feet now. So we're at $1 million. We hit that $1 million price point now, but you get a lot for that money. Really nice neighborhood, really nice parks, really nice house, large square footage, 4 bed, 3 bath, 3,100 square feet. And the lots are decent, 0.329 acres. So you're over a quarter acre, and it's just a really nice location overall. Really good looking house, too. Um, really well thought out neighborhood that you're getting into. So that's kind of what you get in that $1 million price point. And now the fun ones. So if we jump it up to $5 million, so this one's 5.8. This is kind of halfway in between Bozeman and Livingston, but gorgeous property. So the biggest difference here, obviously how nice the property is, but you're on 40 acres now. So you get a ton of land. There's this nice pond, beautiful views, really nice house, and it's just one of those, like, when you picture kind of a picturesque Montana setting, this is what a lot of people are going to envision. So a lot of wood throughout the house. You can see on the ceilings, a lot of custom finishes. Some people are going to like that, some people aren't. Go ahead and let me in the comments. Do you like all the wood inside, or do you prefer like the white sheetrock ceilings with texture on them? What do you prefer there? But big windows, great views. I mean, look at that. Like, if that was your view, as you have your breakfast in the morning, there's going to be a ton of wildlife out here. You're going to get deer and animals coming through your yard all the time in an area like this. Just super nice. Vaulted ceilings. I believe a natural wood burning fireplace on this one. A little bit older on this home, so there's a few things that you're going to see that are a little bit dated, like the wallpaper and the tile on the countertops, but something that you could easily swap out. Nice little courtyard area here in the back with mature trees. And I mean, come on, like, the views, unbelievable what you can get for $5 million. And here's the drone image of it. Just super, super awesome home. Make that a little bit bigger for you. Yeah. I mean, it's no wonder why this is a $5 million property. And then when you jump it way up, so if we get up into the Big Sky market, so this is over in Cowboy Heaven, and it's $17 million asking price, been on the market for just over 30 days, so maybe you can get it discounted a little bit. But this is just incredible. Cowboy Heaven, some of the best views around. I mean, wow. So ski in, ski out property right there to the lifts. Put your ski boots on in your own living room. How nice is that? But absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the views around this and in the distance are just absolutely phenomenal. There's a lot going on in Big Sky, a lot of development, a lot of cool houses like this. There's a lot of new custom houses being built right now too, that are in that 20 million plus range, that are pretty spectacular. They just have renderings though, so I didn't think it was as fun to show you as an actual finished house, so you can see what this is. But let me know if you like the log. Some people don't like log. I can take it or leave it. When it's done well like this, I like it. I think it looks well. Probably not my first choice of what I would do. I prefer more of a modern style. But let me know. Do you like this log house? I know you like those views. What do you think of those views? I mean, that's unbelievable to look out your window and see that. We're in such a beautiful state, and this house really shows it off. You got the refrigerator hidden here, but big kitchen, huge fireplace. And just everywhere you look, there's views. Like, it's just absolutely stunning. Yeah, Renee says, wow, I agree. We should buy this one. So if anybody wants to go halves on me for a $17 million home, let me know, because I wouldn't mind living here. Be a hard commute to my office every day though, so I think I'll pass on it. There's also the $17 million part that's a hard pill to swallow for me. But can you imagine just sitting out here in that hot tub, especially on a winter day like this, and surrounded by those views? I mean, you can ski straight down into your hot tub. Like, that's not something I can do. But this is one of my favorite parts of the house. This old ski lift chair thing that they have going on here. Like, that's just cool. Like, these little personal touches that they put into this home is just unbelievable. So let me know if you would live in this house. I know I would. You can't get enough of those views. So those are what we can get at different price points in Bozeman and surrounding areas. So it's pretty spectacular what you can get when you look at these areas. Let me pull myself back up. There we go. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know that there's cheaper options. Let me know, is that something you want to see? Do you want to see other markets? We can look at markets like Miles City on eastern Montana and Billings. We can also look to the north to Whitefish and Kalispell, Havre, and really see what's going on. There's so many areas in Montana, and they're also drastically different. Eastern Montana might as well be a different state. It's drastically different than what you have on Western Montana. And we can explore those. So let me know in the comments if that's something that you want to see in a future video. And let me know what you think about these houses. What price point, are you most interested in? And, I just thank you for joining today, and I'll catch you on the next one.